El Salvador announces national Bitcoin wallet, plans to distribute $117 million in Bitcoin to citizens. El Salvador's president, announced that the country's official Bitcoin wallet, Chivo, would be launched in September and give $30 in Bitcoin to all citizens in El Salvador. Let's go to Ben Ark. El Salvador is continuing to move forward on their plans to make Bitcoin legal tender. And now they've got a national Bitcoin wallet and they're giving everybody $30. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal that this leader's so sort of anti-democratic. But what I will say is that, oh, someone tipped me. Nice. What I will say is that Bukele has access to a whole range of and this is going to happen forever because obviously more and more countries will adopt Bitcoin, but currently has the ear and access to all these incredible consultants and all these people who want this experiment to go very, very well. And he can just, he has everyone on the end of a phone group. Adam Back, he wants to call him, boom. Jack Mallers, boom, he can just call him. Jack Dorsey, probably, he could just call him. Gregory Maxwell, whoever he wants to get in contact with, he can get in contact with and have free advice and then free help to implement solutions. And that's quite exciting. So I'm with the rest of the Bitcoin community. I really want this experiment to work. There are lots of concerns around his, authoritarian slide from democracy and his, the way he devolved a lot of the judges who were against him. And he's removing all these barriers to his, authoritarian power. So that puts him in a position where he could just make decisions without any backlash or anyone questioning him. So if he's making the right decisions, then that's a good thing. But quite often it goes wrong, and these vanguards they end up making wrong decisions. What I do really like, I'm going to share my screen again. How do I share this? Right, sorry, I'm doing that thing where I'm getting confused. Share. Here we go. Can we see this? Can you see this? All right, so here's a nice little video. So this gets me excited. Let's just have a watch.
The Imperial Senate has been dissolved. What are we watching, Ben?
Can you hear it?
No, we cannot hear it.
Oh, that's a shame. Sorry, I thought you could hear it. So basically, this guy is paying, he's got an electric bill come through, and he's just paying it instantly. He's just paying it instantly through his Bitcoin wallet, directly, without any friction. And then it's instantly settled. He's got proof that he's made the payment. What I like about this, it's a shame you can't hear it. It's a really nice little video made by, let's stop sharing because that's a bit too confusing, made by Vice. And I just love that, that Nick Szabo concept of social scalability. Now this country, which doesn't have this crazy payments infrastructure in place, it's a sort of Central American country that has got that infrastructure. It can very easily, using Bitcoin, it can build that infrastructure. And I would love that. I would love to get a bill through the door and there's a QR code and boom, I scan it. I've paid it there and then. I don't have to, go onto my banking app and fiddle around, and I could just pay it, and I could do it in a way which is, privacy centric. So if that happens in El Salvador, that'd be really exciting to see more and more examples of Bitcoin being used in such an incredible way. And Bukele does have access to all these great minds, and I hope that he'll just make the most of that, because that, for other countries that won't be necessarily so, because obviously they're the first ones to truly try to adopt and incorporate Bitcoin. So yeah, I am excited about the El Salvador thing. A couple of people have reached out, asking about LM-Bits. So that's exciting too. In the last show, I complained about there's not enough sort of emphasis on some of the free and open source solutions out there. And I know this new wallet is kind of being made by the government, and they say it is interoperable with other Bitcoin wallets, and I hope that is also the case. But yeah, that social scalability, being able to pay your bills just by scanning the QR code and boom, pay it. I love that. I think it's great.
Juan Golf, the government is building you a Bitcoin wallet. You can fit all the Bitcoin you want in a suitcase. What do you think about that?
gonna need a big suitcase, man. I'm just kidding. I don't have that much space. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have to say I haven't done big due diligence on this president. I can't say that I'm a big sort of very educated person in terms of El Salvadorian politics. But I mean, El Salvador was just totally screwed last I checked before this whole thing. And he seems to have major Congress approval. You know, he seems to be, you know, very popular president, which is not necessarily a good thing. You know, Hitler was very popular. But he seems to be very popular, right? And it does seem like El Salvador has a history of imprisoning its corrupt presidents, you know. So I'm not concerned. He seems like a good dude. I mean, maybe I'm falling for his charisma, but I tend to have pretty decent character judgment, I think. So I like the guy. I think I think what he's doing makes sense. To all the libertarians and anarchists concerned that this is sort of Bitcoin socialism, I think if you listen to the podcast with that he just went on with this guy, the British guy whose name I can never remember, I think he makes a pretty good case as to why it's actually fairly open, right? Like first of all, there's a monster in front of the house that you're trying to get into called the government, and the monster's like, you are not allowed to come in here. And then the monster in the next house is like, hey, you can come in. It's all good. I'll just get out of the way. Like that doesn't seem like statism to me. Like he's not inputting the capital gains tax. Is saying, hey, you want to be a currency, you can be a currency over here, and I'll just get out of your way. It's like that seems to me like the opposite of government obstruction and government enforcement. You know, the merchants are protected. They don't have to implement it if they don't have the technology. People, I mean, I think there's a good case there, and I'm staying neutral on that situation. I think it's fine. I forget what the other question was.
The Imperial Senate will no longer be of any concern to us. I've just received word that the Empire has dissolved that council permanently. The last remnants of the old Republic have been swept away. Josh Segala.
I think it's a really fascinating time. You know, I think it's come early. So, but it's El Salvador because last bull run it was all the normies, the normal people, their mums and pups and the stuff. This time it was the Michael Saylors and the Elon Musks and the corporations coming in. And next time is the countries. I think if El Salvador can be, you know, the first step, it'll be very, very interesting to see. What I find really fascinating is where's the money coming from to buy the $50 worth of Bitcoin or 30 that everyone gets? Are they printing that out of nowhere and buying real rare assets with it? Where is it coming from? You know, so that's a conundrum. It's an interesting thing. Who is selling their Bitcoin for a fake, fraudulent fiat paper nonsense?
Well, if their previous currency was the US dollar and they're using the dollar in tangent, they can't print any money. So presumably they're selling the treasures of El Salvador. They're taking the people's money and using it to buy Bitcoin to then put into these wallets that the government is going to design. And everyone can trust that this will just go out smoothly.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I really think that I said it last show as well, it's so important that they integrate Lightning Network into this. It just won't scale up to the level of country that's needed on chain. It'll just annoy everyone.
So the wallet is being developed by Lightning Strike. So it's basically going to be like it's probably a white labeled version of Lightning Strike. And I mean, okay, so the government is taking the taxes that they took from the people, converting it to Bitcoin, giving it back to people in form of Bitcoin. What's the problem there? That seems like a good thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not sure of the ins and outs. I'm just interested in how they're doing it. So if that's how they're doing it, that's interesting.
I've also been told that the regional governors now have direct control over their territories. Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station.